I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Naziah Harris. Suspect is representing himself to intimidate victims. Also, the Jamani Parker case. When I came up with this demonstration, and I want to know, everybody on the replay gang and everybody in the chat, I want to know, why do little girls have to grow up so quick? Salute to my replay gang. Salute to my moderators. Salute to the chat. Now, on my last demonstration that I done, I asked the question, what is going on to make Jarvis Butts represent himself in his new charges, right? Many of you all have said, and I really love what many of you all had to say. Many of you all have said, Shank, the reason why Jarvis is representing himself is to try to intimidate the victims as well as the witnesses. Take a deep dive into that. Appreciate you joining the channel, Shani. Agrees with that. Jarvis is representing himself, not in the Naziah Harris case, but Jarvis is representing himself in his new case to intimidate the victim and the witness. Appreciate that, Jonte. Appreciate the compliment on the shades. Now, this first story that I'm going to go to before I come to Naziah, it's another sad case of a young female, right? Now, this young female, Jamani Parker, she had a lot going on for herself. She really did. And these kind of cases, they really, really break your heart, because these cases with these young little girls that have promising futures. Now, the $1 million question is going to be, what made this bright young lady go from a straight A student that had a career in front of her? What made her turn to a OnlyFans page? It happens a lot. A lot of women resort to the OnlyFans pages to make money. But I'm going to get into her story, and then I'm going to come back with my commentary on it.
Now been a month since 20-year-old Jamani Parker was shot and killed near a greenway. Police are still looking for the shooter. Thanks for joining us here at 6:30. I'm Tracy Cornett.
And I'm Marius Payton. MNPD says they're pursuing strong leads in the case. As Danielle Ledbetter explains, Parker's friends and parkgoers are hoping justice comes soon.
Shauna Watts comes to this area near the Alta Lake Greenway pretty often.
I come about once a week. I love the scenery. I love being out here, the scenery, just seeing like the other families out here as well.
Just around the corner from this peaceful view, one day, your employee found Parker. She was taken to the hospital where she died. Although her last moments were spent here, Jamani Parker's friends told me last month they don't want that to be how she's remembered.
Her spirit, her funness, her spirit. She was the youngest out of everybody. So we loved her. We loved her energy. I would just really say her spirit, her calling to check it and at the randomest times, everything.
Her friends are hoping police find the person who shot Parker.
I want to get her name out. I want to make sure she is justice for her name. I want to do as much as I possibly can.
Now, while police search for Parker's killer, Watts will continue to enjoy the view, but now with more apprehension.
Someone next to you could be someone who hurt someone, and that's a scary thought.
Danielle Ledbetter.
Now, I do want to tap into this story.
For Parker's killer.
Now, they did arrest her boyfriend. So they did take her boyfriend into custody. Now, I got this, what I'm about to read to you all. I got this off of the Dark Diaries. And this is what it says. It says, I am Jamani Parker, and I was red rum at only 20 years old. I am sharing my story today. Life had really just begun for me, graduating high school just 2 years prior in 2022 and going on to attend Tennessee State University. I was finding my way. I was loved by my family and met many new friends who described me as goofy and happy-spirited. People would say I looked just like my mother, and I protected my little brother like I was his mother. Basketball was my first love, and I would play through my school years when I resided in Milwaukee, where I grew up. Once I made it to college in Tennessee, I faced many struggles like most college students do. Times were hard, and I needed a way to provide my needs, even if it went against the morals of my family. It goes on to say, I turned to OnlyFans and exotic dance. My family knows me as Jamani Parker, but at work I was known as Miss Parker, and I would build a fan base from Atlanta to Tennessee. This gave me a sense of self and independence that I had not been able to feel before. I had stability that most college students my age doesn't have due to the lack of support from schools and in some cases, family and friends. I was doing what felt like it was right for me to do at that time. My family and I entered to protect me from what I thought was just a quick way to make money, not knowing that it would lead to my demise. So basically, let me grab these super stickers and super chats. It's just a sad case. Appreciate that super sticker, One Love. And if you would like to help us reach our goal for this demonstration of 15 super stickers or super chats, you could click on the $ symbol. Now, in this case, it wasn't a stranger that is suspected of taking her life. And I got to say allegedly, even though many of you all might know more about this case than I, but I have to say allegedly. In Jamani's case, it wasn't a stranger. Jamani's case, it was her boyfriend that is suspected of taking her life. Many want to know, what did she see in this character that allegedly took her life? We see it all the time. I've witnessed it when I was growing up. You got the independent young lady, graduated from school, in college, working. She's just getting a chance to get out and venture the world. Most of these cases, these kind of women, and I'm not passing judgment on anyone, but most of these cases, these women growing up, their parents were strict. Their parents instilled morals and values upon them. So now when they get older and they get out and they get a chance to experience things, most of these young ladies, they tend to go towards the men, the young guys that's living this street life. In my opinion, this has always been a big problem for women. This has been around for ages. Women love bad guys. Well, I'm here to tell you all it's consequences when you're dating these bad guys. All right. And you can still end up running into these same kind of issues with nice guys. But most of the time, if y'all follow any of these cases, most of the times these women trust these type of guys, and these the type of guys that end up taking these young women lives. Let me finish and then we're going to move on. It says on July the 13th, 2024, police responded to a call that there was a body found on the Alta Lake Greenway trailhead of Dotson Chapel Road. I was discovered by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers with one pow wound to the head. I will be transported to the hospital where I will pass away. My passing changed the area. People would report feeling uneasy knowing that my ending had taken place at that location. This was an area where locals frequently visit. 1 month would go by and my family and friends are still searching for justice. They wanted people to say my name and spread the word so that I could rest peacefully. They would spread a lot of positivity so that people would know the real me outside of where I chose to work. I was the one to check on everyone and try to keep them uplifted. I was called to protect and reassure those that meant something to me. Now, many people are trying to say that she was a 304 and things turned left. We don't know what she was. We don't know what she was. And what we have to stop doing is we have to be careful what we say about other people's. Now, I'm going to just, once again, I'm going to give you my commentary, okay? And I'll let everybody have their opinions on it. I don't believe that this young girl was a 304. I do believe that this young girl had dreams. I do believe that she was destined to be somebody. I believe that times got hard. And I believe that she, like some females, not all females are on OnlyFans because they're 304s. It was like when we was coming up, all strippers wasn't hoes. All strippers wasn't prostituting themselves. Some of those strippers were in school. Some of those strippers had business plans. Some of those strippers were stripping to make some extra money to support whatever it is that they were going to be in life. In this case, I do believe that that's why she was on the OnlyFans page. You can make a lot of money on these OnlyFans page. I think that she was just trying to make ends meet, help make ends meet so she could get through college and possibly one day become a business owner. But I will say this to all of the females that are on the OnlyFans page, and I will say this to all those females that are thinking about being on the OnlyFans page. Be very careful. And you have to know what come along with the territory. You're going to be meeting thousands and thousands of weirdos. You're going to be coming in contact with thousands and thousands of creeps. Is that something that you want to entertain? Once again, in this case, that wasn't the case. The suspect that they have that's allegedly responsible for her death happened to be her boyfriend. Law with Tone says exactly. Dancers get paid their way through school. Big shout out to Tone. Tone is an up and coming content creator. Moderators, can I get any one of my moderators to drop Law Talk with Tone link in the chat? Make sure everybody subscribes to Law Talk with Tone. He's an up and coming content creator. She was looking for the attention and love that was not there. And in these cases, like the Naziah Harris case, this is what a lot of young girls go through. My boyfriend used to, my baby father used to dance. My best friend used to dance. She said it changes you. You either become stronger and overcome it, or you get consumed. And that's exactly true also. You can get caught up in the life, and it can turn you into a monster. Salute, Leisure Lady. Salute. Shout out to Miss Parker. Now, why do little girls have to grow up so quick? And this is another case, a little similar, not all the way similar, but you have two young girls. You have Naziah Harris. You have Jamani Parker. Right? Those that Jamani trusted, those that Naziah trusted, ended up taking Naziah's life and Jamani's life. Jamani trusted her boyfriend. She trusted her boyfriend. Let me grab a picture of her boyfriend real quick. Give me a minute, y'all. Give me a minute. Let me know y'all opinions on why do you think little girls have to grow up so quick?
Tracking.
Now, this is the boyfriend, and this is allegedly the suspect in Jamani's death.
Crime, a man has been indicted for the murder of his girlfriend. Lavelle Winton Jones is charged with first-degree murder, accused of shooting and killing his girlfriend, Jamani Parker.
So this is the suspect. This was her boyfriend. What would make him take Jamani's life? In my opinion, and it's just my opinion, I don't believe nothing could have warranted him taking her life. Clown TV says lack of father figure in the home. Tone says there are some females who do what they have to do, and then there are some who love the lavish life of fast money, clothes, bags, etc. That's true. I see you, Nicole. Life Tip says he probably got mad at the attention she was getting. And you know what, Life Tips? Most of the times, and I'm so glad that you brought that to the chat. Most of the times, this is all it is. This is all it is. A lot of men cannot handle women that don't need them, that don't depend on them. A lot of men can't handle a woman that's making more money than they making. They can't control. It's hard to control a woman as it is. It's hard trying to control a woman, but it's even more harder trying to control a woman that got her own money. What you gonna do? You know what I mean? She don't need you, you know, in these cases. And then with the attention that she's getting, I'm sure, and I'm not making no mockery. I'm not making no mockery, but I'm only going by what I see. So fans and family of Jamani, please don't take it as a mockery. You could see in this picture that she's in uniform. It's nothing attractive about her. If she put this picture on her social media, I'm sure she wouldn't get many likes. This is how social media works. So I'm sure she wouldn't get many likes on this picture, even though she should. These are the pictures of the women that should be getting 1,000 likes, 1,000,000 likes. These are the pictures. These are the moments in these women's lives that it should go viral. But we all know that this wouldn't be the picture of Jamani that will go viral. This wouldn't be the picture of Jamani that will get her attention. Let's fast forward. Now we move up to this picture. We can imagine how many likes, we can imagine how many comments she received off of this picture compared to the first picture that I saw. Here comes the attention. A lot of dudes, a lot of dudes cannot handle the attention that their girlfriend gets. Now, I don't know how long her and this joker had been together, but I can assure y'all, if he was with her before the OnlyFans, if he was with her during those days when she wasn't dressing attractive, then I'm sure now that she's dressing attractive and all this attention is coming, I'm sure that really, really set him off. Appreciate the super sticker, April. Women, be careful of whom you open your legs up to. The kitty cat is a powerful thing. The kitty cat is a powerful thing. So be careful who you get that kitty cat to. It's sad. Some would say, Shank, it's messed up, but that's just a part of the reality that comes along with dating. You got to be very, very careful. Also, as women, you got to keep in mind, everybody is not going to be happy with your success. Everybody is not going to be happy with the attention that you are getting. We witnessed that in the Shanquilla Robinson case. Those frenemies that she went to Mexico with, they wasn't happy with her success. So now you got this joker, you got this monster. All this attention that's coming to this young lady. He just couldn't handle it. Here comes the jealousy. Somebody mentioned jealousy. Here comes the jealousy part. I know because I was once there. It was a lot of things that I couldn't handle when it came with my woman. Jealousy is an MFer. And I'm so glad that in some of the situations that I was in, I'm so glad that I used this head. I'm so glad that I learned what I learned in anger management. Think 5 seconds before you react. I'm so glad, because if I would have reacted other than the way I reacted, I wouldn't be right here speaking with you all. Jealousy can take over anybody. It can take over anybody. So women, young ladies, y'all have to keep that in mind. Y'all have to keep that in mind. Insecurities as well. But this is the alleged suspect in the Jamani Parker's case. This is the suspect. Her boyfriend. It's sad. It's so sad. I want to talk to you all about the family structure. I want to talk to you all about the family structure. Are we doing more harm to our children by putting them out at 18 or telling them that they have to get out on their own at 18? Are we doing more harm to them that way than if we just allow them to stay home? How many of y'all have told your children when you get 18, you have to leave? Because a lot of these little girls having to grow up so quick, a lot of it has to do with the family unit. What's going on in that family? What's going on in that family? And another thing that I want to talk to everybody about is solutions. Clown TV says absolutely. TT says never. I want to talk to you all about solutions, because we can continue to cover these cases, but if we're not speaking on solutions, in my opinion, we're just running into a brick wall. Jazz B says, I think that if we raise them truly righteously, they will be ready, but that rare these days. That's so true, Jazz JB. That's true. If we raise them righteously, we gotta get back to the old-fashioned way of doing things. To me, that's part of the solution. That's part of the solution. I would never. I was put out at 14, and I would never do that to my kids. They'll always be able to stay with me. I think it depends on the child. My oldest graduated at 17 and moved out at 19. My baby is 30, a RN, making good money, and she's still home. She feels pressure from friends to move, not me. I told her, don't let people make her feel bad and for having a loving mother. I like that, Miss Blonde. A lot of children do get peer pressured by their friends. Misha says, new to the channel and playing catch up. I pray these young people learn. Future employers check all social media when doing background checks. Can I get everybody to give Misha 6'4" a warm welcome? We appreciate you for pulling up with Amisha. Trigger says it is definitely setting them up for failure. Salute, Thankful. Salute, Londa. I think it depends on the child. My oldest daughter graduated at 17 and moved out at 19. I never was told 18 I gotta get out, but I have a niece that had to leave because she wasn't my dad's biological grandchild. So sad but true. My children can stay home as long as they need to. Some other mothers aren't being moms. My kids 30 and 21, they always can come home. It's like when they hear the age 18, they ready to throw the world at you. They should be working, but not rush to navigate through life. Now, here's my opinion on some of the solutions, everybody. We have to get back to the community. I say it all the time, and I'm going to say it again. We cannot expect for God to fix our community problems. God, I'm sure, can fix our community problems. I'm sure. I don't want to get into no argument. I don't want to get into no debate about God. But I will get into any debate as far as us not fixing our problems. I don't want to hear it's the devil that has our community jacked up. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear about how we got our community jacked up. We gotta take accountability. We gotta take accountability. It's no way getting around it. We gotta rebuild. We cannot expect the millenniums. And I'm going to tell you why we cannot expect the millenniums to make the community better. The millenniums isn't the ones that have our community jacked up. The millenniums, they only came into a community that was already jacked up. Who jacked the community up? Generation X jacked the community up. Appreciate you becoming a new member, Lisa. Generation X jacked up the community with the drive-bys, right? The disrespecting of the elders, right? Selling crack, selling dope, right? The wild parties, way before Baby Oil Man came along with the freak offs. Atlanta had Freaknik, right? Right? Way before the Naziah Harris case came, way before the 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, even the 70s, all of this that's going on today, it all goes way back in time. And if we don't take the fourth quarter, because many of us are in the fourth quarter of our lives, many of us ain't got that much longer here. But if we take the little bit of time that we do got left and make a difference in our communities, then these little girls won't grow up so fast. Why are we pushing these little girls out into this lifestyle? Let these little girls be babies. Let these little girls be just that, little girls. And then let us give these little girls the support that these little girls need so they won't have to end up on OnlyFans pages. They're on these OnlyFans pages because most of them fast money, most of them looking for love, looking for attention. Most of them. They ain't getting it elsewhere. However, some of them that's on the OnlyFans page, some of them are on there because they rebelled. Some of them. I can't make an excuse for all of them. Some of those females that's on the OnlyFans page, some of them are on there just because they want money, they want clothes, they want that fast life, but not all of them. Now, I want to switch lanes. I want to switch lanes to Jarvis Butts, right? I want to go to Jarvis Butts. And Jarvis Butts is representing himself. And as I stated before, when I asked that question on my last demonstration, the main answer that I got that most of y'all spoke on was that Jarvis is trying to intimidate the witness, the victims. And if he does that, in my opinion, I think that that's a good strategy on Jarvis's part. I believe it's a good strategy for him. Let me try to grab some of y'all comments. Society, it's our job to grown up and learn on own dream, not the personal dream. See, y'all. But you know what, Julia? Julia says, boy, your funky ass is on the road today. Y'all know what? I'm not going to punish y'all for Julia's comment. I ain't going to punish y'all. All right? I ain't going to punish y'all for Julia's comment. Because usually when somebody uses the funky ass, it gets me going. And then that's all y'all hear out of my mouth is funky ass this, funky ass that. But I ain't gonna punish y'all today, all right? Appreciate that, Julie. TT says, so do you really think he gonna try to represent himself? It's a smart move. It's a smart move if he does. It's a smart move if Jarvis does. All right? Bear with me, y'all. I got a lot of things going on. Appreciate that cash donation, life tips. Appreciate that cash donation, life tips. And if you would like to support the channel, if you would like to send a cash donation, my cash app is $ERICMCINT for cash donations. Or you could help us reach our or you could help us reach our 15 super sticker super chat goal today by purchasing a super sticker or a super chat. Chaotic, appreciate that. Chaotic says this is a result of digital social media culture. So now with Jarvis making an attempt to represent himself, could he be doing it to intimidate the witnesses? Could he be doing it to imitate the victims? You got the victims on the stand. You got the witnesses on the stand. It could be intimidating. And I know what y'all gonna say. Some of y'all gonna say, see, Shank, there you go with that BS, giving Jarvis a way to beat his case. Appreciate that super sticker, TT. I see you, Raw. So now Jarvis represents himself, right? He got the witnesses on the stand. Once again, in my opinion, could be very, very intimidating on the victim. She sees Jarvis. You know, we got to keep in mind, Jarvis is a master manipulator. He's a master manipulator. So let's get into the mind of Jarvis. I want us, those on the replay gang and those in the chat, just for a few minutes, let's tap into the mind of a serial child. You know what? Let's get into the mind of a pedo. Misha says she's not a little girl anymore and she's had therapy. I pray she's ready for this and him. He may find a grown woman who's ready for him. Good point, Mish. Good point. She might be ready for him. She might be ready for him. And for the victim, if you're listening to this, my advice is to you, not Jarvis. The hell with giving Jarvis any advice. But if the victim is watching this and anybody that's witness in that case, please make sure you do everything in your power to not let Jarvis get you into your feelings. This is a power move when it comes down to being in that courtroom. Jarvis thinking, this is what I'm saying. Let's get into the mind. Okay, if I can arouse this person, if I could make this victim feel like she brought it on, if I could make this victim seem delusional, if I could get this victim upset. Appreciate that super sticker, Rose. Appreciate the super chat, Miss Blonde. Miss Blonde says she's grown as hell now. His, you know what, is going down. I highly doubt the judge will allow him to ask questions in his sadistic manners. I hope that the judge don't. But see, once again now, we got to know the law. We got to know the law. And we might be in other states and we might be, you know, giving opinions as well as facts on the law in our state. But when we come to Michigan, and then, as I said before, that's why Jarvis was writing down. Y'all notice he kept writing down. And I kept saying, focus in on Jarvis. He's writing. He's writing. Jarvis done 8 years. Jarvis ain't new to the law of Michigan. He was already convicted. He already spent time on the same charge. So Carla says we have to take stand for our community, get involved with neighborhood watch organizations. Facts. Yes, he is. That's why he was able to SA those young girls and grown women, mind control. Some can't handle men like that. When Jarvis told them to jump, they asked him how high. Exactly. And not only was he manipulating the little kids, he was manipulating his stable of women. That's a part of the process. She has to allow it. And this is what I'm saying. Appreciate that, JB. And see, that's just part of the process. The judge got to allow it. She got to allow it. Or he got to allow it. And if he don't, that's a loophole for Jarvis to come back on an appeal That's a loophole. That will guarantee that that charge get dismissed. You violated his rights. TT says he knows he cooked because he don't have no lawyer. Too much evidence. They defy gone. Let him represent himself if that's what he want. He might be doing more damage himself than he realized. Again, our sick justice system down. And the justice system is sick. It really is, because in my opinion, Jarvis shouldn't have never, ever been let back out. My opinion. I'm trying to keep up with the comments, y'all. I'm going to have to back away from them in a minute. Hey, y'all. Salute, caller. They got to do away with his snitching, get stitches, and open your mouths. That's facts, caller. We got to take back our community. We got to get back into our communities, y'all. Exactly. Thankful. We have to be those nosy old neighbors that we all grew up with, that we couldn't stand, that we hated. Now we have to be those nosy neighbors. Hey, it is what it is. Shank Rock, you goddamn right. Let me see something going on in my neighborhood that ain't right. I gotta live in this neighborhood. I want my neighborhood to be safe. I want to go to sleep at night feeling safe. I want to walk the streets feeling safe. My neighborhood, I pay rent. I pay taxes. So why shouldn't I have a right to protect my neighborhood? See, this is the result of Generation X. This is a result of my generation when we was coming up. It got so out of control that these fools in the neighborhood started harassing the nosy neighbors. These fools in the neighborhood went from harassing the nosy neighbors. Y'all seen New Jack City? I know. And a lot of us thought New Jack City was so slick. We thought New Jack City was the movie. We thought all of those hood movies that we all grew up on, we thought that they were so lit. We thought they were so cool. But we wasn't paying attention to what the hood movies were showing us. The hood movies were showing us the destruction of our communities at our own expenses, at our own hands. But we thought it was so slick. Once again, not knowing that the repercussions of them hood movies back in the 90s, we couldn't see it. But the repercussions of the movies back in the 90s is our communities today. I tried, y'all. I even gave Julia's funky ass a pass. Y'all have none other than Julia to thank for the picture. Yes, yes. So I want everybody to give Julia a warm thank you, because it's because her funky ass is the reason why I got the picture up. So make sure y'all give Julia a big shout out for this picture. But let's stay where I was at with the community and why it's the way it is. See, we want to blame the millenniums. You can't blame the millenniums. The community was already jacked up. We allowed it. So as nosy neighbors, we need to get on our post. We need to get on our job as nosy neighbors. I said this in my last demonstration. And I'm going to say it again. This case is bigger than Jarvis Butts. This case is bigger than Naziah Harris. Unfortunately, Naziah is no longer with us. She's no longer with us. But what we have to do as a community, what we have to do as a society, we have to prevent future Naziah Harris. And that's why this demonstration is so important. Why do little girls have to grow up so quick? We have to, as a community, we have to listen to boys. We have to listen to men. Men are victims just as well as women are victims. Boys are victims just as well as little girls. They failed Jarvis Butts. And because they failed Jarvis Butts, that is why Naziah Harris, along with the other victims of Jarvis Butts, that's how and that's why they fell victim to Jarvis Butts. You take Jarvis Butts out of the equation, I can promise y'all, Naziah Harris will still be with us. You take Jarvis Butts out of the equation, I can promise y'all, the victims of Jarvis Butts wouldn't have been victims. But because when Jarvis was inappropriate touched at 13, it got swept up under the rug. It got overlooked. Why? Because he was a boy and he enjoyed it just as much as the monster that inappropriately touched him? Some of you said that. Many believe that. Oh, Shank Rob, it's a little boy. I'm sure he enjoyed it. And I broke it down on the last demonstration. I'll break it down again on this demonstration for those that wasn't here. Get into the mind. And this is why I want everybody to get into Jarvis's mind. There are different benefits can come out of if we get into Jarvis's mind. There's benefits. Get into the mind of a 13-year-old Jarvis Butts. You gotta know for sure at one time in his life, he was innocent. He wasn't a monster all his life is the point that I'm trying to make, the plane that I'm trying to land. He wasn't a monster all his life. It started when he was a little boy. This is why I say we as a society no longer can we push men's feelings on the side. Just like women have abusive childhoods, men had abusive childhoods. Growing up, there were things done to us men. As a man, let me speak for Shank Rock. As a man, if I can't release my feelings, if I can't release what I'm going through, if I can't release it the proper way, any and everybody that comes across my path can get it. This is one of the reasons why I laugh. This is one of the reasons why I joke. It helps me with the shit that I'm going through. Still to this day, I go through things. Still to this day, I need to reach out and talk to somebody about what I'm going through, what may have happened to me growing up, but I can't get it. It's the plane that I'm landing. Jarvis needed a support system. He didn't get it. Jarvis needed somebody to listen to him. He didn't get it. He didn't get it. Big Mama says they grow up fast by their surroundings, what their family allows, or because we need them to avoid the pitfalls, dangers of life that sets them back. I agree. So there are thousands of Jarvis Butts out here. I'm letting y'all know now. There are thousands of young Jarvis Butts out here. Right now, as we speak, somewhere there's an adult that's inappropriately touching a little boy. Y'all see it now all over social media. These teachers are inappropriately touching these little boys. See? Some of the teachers have gotten pregnant by the little boys that they have been inappropriately touching. Some of the teachers get locked up, get out, and go right back to the inappropriate touching of the little boys. That's sick. That's sick. That's sick. What has to happen? I talked about solutions. Women have always been the backbone of the community. Women has always been a part of solving any problems that the community as well as the family have went through. Women, I don't know, I got 20,000 subscribers and many more to come. If you are listening to this, please set up some kind of program. Please set up some kind of program for little boys only. Set up a program so that little boys have somewhere to go, somebody to talk to when they are experiencing abuse. The program has to be separate. It has to be separate. You cannot have boys and girls in the same program where boys and girls talk about inappropriate touching. You cannot do that, because what you're going to have girls feeling uncomfortable with telling their story in front of boys. You're going to have boys feeling uncomfortable telling their story in front of girls. Got to be separate. So you have to have a program. Please, whoever it is out there that's listening to me, please set up a program where little boys can go to for support. It starts with the boys when they are boys. It's too many men. It's too many grown men moving around in this society that hasn't been counseled, didn't go to therapy, didn't get healed as a little child. For most of the men, some of them are so far gone that rehabilitation probably won't work for them. But if you catch them while they are little boys, and if they are given counseling, if they are given therapy, it just might save the next Naziah Harris. It just might stop the next Jarvis Butts from becoming the monster that the 13-year-old victim eventually turned into the grown-ass monster. That's the plane that I'm landing. That's the plane that I'm landing. We have to bring solutions. I'm just a messenger. That's all. But there are people out there that exactly what I'm talking about. There are people out there that can make it happen. And if you are a man or a woman, and if you can make this program happen, please do so for the sake of the whole world. Please do so for the sake of the babies. Please do so for the sake of the community, because we never know. The next Jarvis Butts that we don't help prevent from becoming a monster, that next Jarvis Butts could manipulate your Naziah Harris, my Naziah Harris. Appreciate that super chat, Big Mama. I have to tell my 11-year-old son, don't allow people to touch you, and you don't touch anyone. This is sad. We have to discuss this at young age. And I'm so glad that you do that, Big Mama. These are the conversations that we got to have. We got to have these conversations with our sons, our grandsons, our daughters, our granddaughters. We got to have these conversations with our nieces and nephews. Appreciate the super chat, Tanya. Great demonstration, Shank Rock. Big facts, and thank you. Appreciate that. Even while we're on social media, because we all can build a program. We all got the power to prevent the next Jarvis. We all got the power to prevent the next Naziah Harris. Platform. What are we using our Facebook for? What are we using our Instagram for? What are we using our YouTube for? What exactly are we using our platforms for? Are we using our platform to entertain the devil by promoting demonic energy, or are we using our platforms to do the work of God? What are we sharing on our platforms? What are we liking on our platforms? You can't be positive sharing a bunch of foolish stuff on social media. You can't want a change. You can't expect for a change if you're not supporting the content creators that is giving positive content. I see a lot of y'all funky ass hoes that's supporting the content creators that push a bunch of foolishness. I see it. I watch it. I see a lot of y'all that say y'all want change, but ain't doing a damn thing to get change. What is your funky ass doing to get change, our weight, is your funky ass using your platforms to bring in change. I don't want to hear no more. Let this people, let them, let her. I don't want to hear no more of that. What are you doing to make a change? This is why we are where we are at. Don't y'all see? So you got Jarvis representing himself. Same way many of us, not me, but the same way many people felt as though P. Diddy was going to be found not guilty. Right? P. Diddy was found not guilty. So we don't know what can turn out when it comes to Jarvis representing himself. Erica says, unfortunately, Jarvis Butts appealed his case in Georgia in 2015. Go fact check. Would you share with us some more information on that case, Erica? Can you share with us some more information on that case where Jarvis appealed his case? Jake says he was 13. He needed guidance. He was 13. He was a victim. And this is why I'm advocating for little boys, because if you allow a little boy to have his innocence robbed, that's what happens to all of us. At a young age, we get our innocence taken from us. It's going to create a monster out of us. So the solution is that we got to get back to the community. We got to. There are a lot of up and coming content creators. There are many that are thinking about becoming a content creator. My advice to those that are thinking about becoming a content creator, focus on solutions to bettering our community. You can use my platform to get started. I used to have Monday nights over here on my platform for subscribers only. And I would allow any subscriber to have a demonstration. Because some of y'all might feel, Shank, I don't know where to start. I don't got no followers. I got almost 20,000 subscribers. If you want to do a demonstration over here, just let me know. Just let me know. Erica says, I could send you or Miss Parker the links to either one of your emails. Send it to my email, Erica. Send that link to my email. Teachers, correctional officers, daycare workers, Injustice Society. Salute, Teresa. Let me try to grab some of this. I get that, but if he didn't see anything was wrong, then he wouldn't care to be in the program, and it wouldn't have been beneficial to him. I see. Why is Jarvis representing himself? Facts. Jarvis is the only one that unalive. Pecan says, Naziah, I stayed home until I was 25, only because my mom passed away. I never disrespected my mom. Julia says, you better preach, Shank. Oh, you ain't dropping the funky ass with it this time, is you, Julia? You ain't dropping the funky ass with it this time, is you, Julia? I see ya. I see ya. life tips. His daddy should have let him know it wasn't okay. Light your name up in green. If you would like to join the channel and become an official Rock Squad member, please click on the link that my moderator, Raw, has dropped in the chat. I have some up and coming demonstrations that I'm going to be doing, that I'm going to be rewarding my members only. So if you don't have a membership, you won't be able to leave a comment in the chat. You'll be able to watch, but I do have some up and coming demonstrations that I want to reward my members with. Only my members will be able to comment. So if you would like to become a member, please click on the blue link that my moderator Raw dropped. It's a disease that needs to be cured, but predators have to want the help. And that's what I was saying. And I'm glad that you put it there. When you get older, that's why I said for some of these men, some of them, rehabilitation is just too far. Some of them is not going to want any assistance. That's why we gotta catch them at a young age. We gotta catch them. Some of them inappropriate touch at 8, 5, 6. But if we could get these little boys, if we could get them to come out and speak on inappropriate touching, then we could get them the counseling and the therapy that they need, as well as the little girls. Little girls get help. Women get help. We don't. And I gotta advocate for men. I advocate for everyone. And I don't advocate just for one nationality. I advocate for everybody that I see injustice being done. Everybody that I see that's not getting the proper resources to become better human beings. I advocate for them. So I'm not advocating for Jarvis. I'm not. Jarvis is a monster. Jarvis needs to be in prison for the rest of his life. But I'm advocating for the future Jarvises because Jarvis was a victim. Appreciate the membership, T-Lady. And that's what we have to focus on. We have to focus on victims, victim rights. Victims, regardless of how we feel about them, victims deserve justice. Naziah Harris deserves justice. But we want to prevent future Naziah Harrises. That's why me, along with the other content creators, along with the subscribers, that's why we want Miss Annette, Shannon, CPS, DPD. That's why we want the school, because she was asking for help at the school. That's why we want more than just Jarvis held accountable. Many of y'all, with y'all funky asses, many of y'all only want Jarvis to be held accountable. Kim Worthy said it herself. We ain't worried about, we ain't prosecuting. I'm not sure if she said it in those exact words, but she let it be known Jarvis is the only one that's going to be prosecuted. Stop right there with your funky ass. See, now I'm starting to question anybody's funky ass that only wants this to be about Jarvis. I tell you what, for my replay game, I got time today. Bring your funky asses on my replay game and come for me all y'all funky asses want. I got time today. I will clap back on anybody's funky ass in the replay that come for me. Got a problem with Shank because Shank is going after everybody that's involved. Shank, you should just stick to Jarvis. I won't. Jarvis ain't the only one that failed Naziah. The judge said that. So why would I just stick to Jarvis? It tells me a lot about you. If that's all you want to focus on, Jarvis going to prison for the rest of his life. He ain't getting around that. He's gone. He's a goner. The text messages proves that Jarvis was in a inappropriate touching relationship with Naziah. He can't get around the text messages that he was sending her. So he's gone. But what about everybody else? Why are these charges for this right here hasn't been brought up? Why my man right here? Y'all don't see nothing wrong with this right here? So he don't get inappropriate touching charges as well? What type of shit is this? See, I know y'all do that because some of y'all love it when Shank Rock gets on one. Some of y'all don't like the laughable, smiling, easy approach Shank Rock. I had to live with this all my life. Some of y'all not happy with that Shank Rock. Some of y'all not happy till I go upside your motherfucking funky ass head. Naziah Harris was failed by so many. And I want all of them that failed her. I'm not saying that all of them should be charged with the unaliving of Naziah. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they all should be charged with the unaliving. But what I'm saying is those that failed her need to be held accountable in the court of law. And for those that failed her, that is watching me, because I know all of y'all funky asses watch Shank Rock. I know this. For those that failed Naziah Harris, we cannot turn back the hands of time. We can't. But y'all need to make this shit right. Y'all need to make this shit right. If y'all make it right, the content creators wouldn't have nothing to talk about. We would talk about it here and there, but after a while, it will all go away. Why do you think the content creators is talking about this? Because the content creators is pissed. The content creators is fed up. The content creators can't believe how she was failed. She was failed. That's why the content creators is keep talking about it. I am truly disgusted with the women that was in her life. She never had a real mother. She was set up for failure. The little baby, the little girl, she was set up for failure. I mean, that shit don't bring a tear down your eyes. That shit don't make you say, damn, that was messed up. This little girl was failed by everybody. Her father failed her. May his soul rest in peace. He has to answer for that. Her mother failed her. The fact that Marquita got on your platform lying, knowing she had some parts in this BS is disgusting. And Marquita, if when this shit plays out, if your hands ain't clean, I'ma ride your funky ass till the wheels fall off. If any of them, any of the family members that I gave passes for, if any of them, Kiwana, Janelle, Kenya, Roxy, if any of y'all, when this plays out, if y'all hands ain't squeaky clean, I'm gonna ride y'all funky asses till the wheels fall off. I don't think that y'all did. I don't. But I could be wrong. But in the event it comes back and y'all funky asses had some kind of involvement, I'm gonna ride your funky ass till the wheels fall off. Yes, they should be charged with neglect. The way we feel disgust for Jarvis is the same disgust for them sicko, you know what, celebrities, but it's only selective outrage. You're right about that, Renee. You're right about that. And as I said before, Renee, I do believe that P. Diddy and R. Kelly is guilty of some of the charges. I do. I just don't believe P. Diddy or R. Kelly is guilty of racketeering. That's all. But I do believe there was some inappropriate touching going on. I do believe P. Diddy is guilty of domestic violence. Failed and never found. Of course, Shank, it breaks our hearts what a young girl had to go through such torture. Out cold. A little baby. Shank Rock, salute, Shelly. There's currently 400,000 children in the U.S. foster care system. I can't believe Marquita didn't have a bad thing to say about Jarvis after her daughter testified her hands are definitely dirty. Now, that's something that I can speak on Marquita about. I didn't get a chance. I didn't get around to asking Marquita about that question. And that was because the situation was so sensitive, you know, and she had already mentioned that she wasn't going to talk about nothing that was related to Naziah Harris' case. And so I just didn't want to bring that up as well because, you know, I did want to give her her time to, you know, speak as much as she felt comfortable with talking about. But I do think that that's a red flag, definitely, Kelly, knowing that he inappropriately touched your daughter. That's definitely a red flag. She definitely know more than what she say, but by that being her twin, she ain't gonna say and might as well be as guilty and held accountable too, period. Salute to Miko. Rob, definitely no racketeering. Poor girl was doomed from the womb, and that is the mastermind of it all. Systems that need to change. Salute, Shank. Salute, Ray. I see you, Ray. They should not get their children back, period. And if you are on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram. My moderator, Ra, has dropped my Instagram link. Shout out to all of my moderators. Shout out to all of my moderators. I want to let all my moderators know that you all do a wonderful job. And it doesn't go unnoticed. And when I drop my merch, oh yeah, the funky ass merch is coming. All moderators will receive a discount. Also, my members will be receiving discounts as well. But for all my moderators, I will start off giving all of my moderators discounts on my merch. Once again, switching lanes on Yo Funky Ass is coming soon. Seriously, like what the hell is really going on? Marquita's hands as dirty as the nasty roaches on Bedford. She probably knew her daughter was at the shop. Marquita should have been talking to the law, not getting on social media lying. And that is the stronghold. Just a bunch of funky asses. Salute, Candy. Say it again, Kim, worthless. I'm 54 years old and had one SA that still haunts me when seeking relationships, traveling, etc. This baby suffered far more than I could take. Appreciate you, Big Mama. Sorry that you had to experience what you had to experience or what you experienced. When Naziah family found out she's pregnant, Jarvis put in his mind, I got to unalive Naziah before it gets out. He's the father, so he told her we're going to run away together to unalive her and the baby. That's a good point, Pecan. Good point. Funny how she said she would never work at a shop being a female, but okay for your daughter. That's facts. Law Talk with Tone. Make sure everybody subscribes to Law Talk with Tone. He's an up-and-coming content creator. Once again, make sure we subscribe to Law Talk with Tone. He's an up-and-coming content creator. Salute, commas. It's about CPS, DPD, DPS, every person who lied on that stand, anyone who lied, everyone. That's facts, Jay. That's facts. Shank Rock, I just sent the link to your IG. Okay, Erica, I seen something come through. Let me check it out now before we get out of here. Let me check it out now. All right. I'm coming up. All right. Let's see what we got. JB says that's the problem. No one is held accountable at all. And that's why if you don't hold them accountable, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. Butt versus State, Supreme Court of Georgia. Butt versus the state. All right, this is it. Give me a minute. When we pull back, my demonstration for tonight at 10 p.m. will be what you sent me, Erica. I got food for tonight's demonstration. Jarvis Butts was found guilty of felony, red rum, and other crimes in connection with the pow deaths of two men, Mark Jones and Christopher Jackson, and the armed robbery of a third man, Joshua McCarter. That the evidence presented at his trial was legally insufficient to support his convictions, and that the trial court applied to the wrong standard in denying his motion for new trial on the general grounds we affirm. All right, I appreciate that, Erica. Give me time to go over it, and we will be back tonight at 10 p.m. to talk about this 2015 Butts versus State, Supreme Court of Georgia. When leaders mislead, it's inevitable they destroy the past. VT says, I heard about that. Life Tip says, I wonder why Kim Worthless is only focused on Jarvis. Make sure y'all subscribe to Miss Parker if y'all haven't. Was Naziah Harris declared deceased? Was Naziah Harris officially declared deceased? Is there a, I believe, is there a death certificate? It's a good question. Do we know whether or not there's a death certificate? Have any of you all heard any of the other content creators mention anything about a death certificate? And if so, it's okay to mention that content creator. It's okay. But what do we know about Naziah Harris declared deceased? Let's chop it up, y'all. Let's chop it up. Once again, I appreciate everybody for pulling up. I'll leave the chat running. You all can hang around. Appreciate everybody for helping us reach our goal of 15 super stickers and super chats. We are only 2 super sticker and super chats away from us reaching our goal. Salute everybody, and I'll see everybody back at 10 p.m. tonight. I'll leave the chat running. My bad. I'll leave the chat running, and you all can hang around. Salute everybody.
Picture behind me is of Naziah, and that will always be haunting because it was taken just a short time before the evidence shows that she was never seen or heard from again. It was taken by Naziah herself, a selfie. That's the last known picture that we know about of her. It was pointed out to me by one of the detectives on this case and by one of the prosecutors. She is smiling and waving and saying hello. But little did she know that she was really saying goodbye.
This story is so incredibly tragic. Naziah Harris, little 13-year-old girl, should be enjoying those teenage years, you know? Should be having fun, laughing with her friends, going to school, learning, doing all of those things, but she's not. And she's missing, but presumed to be dead and murdered. I want you to take a listen to Kim Worthy. That was the prosecutor from Wayne County. Here she is talking about the evidence against the man that they have accused of the murder. And there's a connection between this man and Naziah's family. And a lot of the facts here are disturbing, to say the least.
The evidence shows overwhelmingly in this case that she is in fact deceased.
In other news, North Carolina residents are going to be happy to hear this. It just came out. There's a new website where any North Carolina resident.
The last time she was seen alive was January the 9th of this year, 2024, almost 9 months ago. Her missing status was reported to the Detroit Public School Police Department by her grandmother on that very day when she never returned home from school. And again, that was January the 9th of 2024. In early February of 2024, the case was turned over to the Detroit Police Department. Frankly, that should have happened right away, but they began investigating immediately. The evidence would further show that through text messages that we know and that we have, Naziah and this defendant were going to meet after school on January the 9th. We know that she did indeed meet up with the defendant that we're charging in this case. We also know that several people close to Mr. Butts, who we were charging later, saw them together in several different locations, people that he knew well. We have evidence that at 9:30 p.m. on that day, that Mr. Butts checked into a motel and that Naziah was never seen or heard from again. Not from her family, not from her schoolmates, not from her friends, not from social media where she was extremely active with her friends, not from teachers, no one. We know that she had no medical conditions that would cause a life-threatening medical emergency to her. And he, again, was the last person that saw her alive. She would have turned 14 years old just 10 days ago on September the 16th of 2024. And again, no one has seen or heard from her. You look at that face and you do not see the horrors that she had gone through in her short life. The exploitation, the molestations, the sexual abuse, and the pregnancy that she was concealing. The evidence will show that from one of her text messages to and with Jarvis Butts. And we also know, the evidence will show, that there's no evidence of anyone else being the father of that child other than the defendant himself, who we charge today. And he knew she was pregnant. We know that he was also searching for ways to abort the baby. We know that sexually explicit photos were requested by him of her and that she complied and sent them to her. All at the hands, we allege, the man we are charging with her death and also her long-term sexual abuse. Today, we are charging Jarvis Butts with 1 count of first-degree premeditated murder, 1 count of criminal sexual conduct in the second degree, and 1 count of child sexually abusive material. Today, we are also charging Mr. Butts with more counts of criminal sexual conduct on 2 more girls, yes, girls, on 2 other separate cases. The girls in question now are 20 and 11 respectively today, but both were under the age of 13 years old at the time the offenses occurred that we're charging.